Hello, what do we call it? World Economic News for Woden's Day. That's us. Right, this gay-coloured chart is the United Kingdom and their real disposable income per head, going back to 1948. And it's a classic, it's bottom left, top right, because if I go from what I said yesterday, there's been cheap oil since the Second World War, and that has led to wonderful amounts of real disposable income on the up and up. But I think most notable is that it's flattened off lately, hasn't it really? And definitely it has taken a little kick down now, and the last time it took a little kick down was in 1981. But the more important thing is that it really has levelled off since 2003. It really hasn't been on the up and up much at all. But certainly has taken a kink down now. And we move to the GfK Consumer Confidence Index for the United Kingdom. And the people have noticed, because the scale there at the top is the 0. 12 months ago it was minus 15. At the moment it's minus 29, which is very grumpy indeed. In the height of the crisis, 2009, there was a minus 30 read. That was the lowest. And they're even down, minus 29, very close to the lowest reading, similar to the height of the last recession. They're very grumpy in the United Kingdom, and there's no reason that they should not get any more grumpy. This chart is Brent crude. Brent is perhaps famous for being British version of North Sea oil from the Brent fields. That is in blue on this particular chart, and this makes up what is sold as Brent. It's just a name, Brent crude, like West Texas Intermediate in the United States. It's just a name, but you can see only a small proportion of actual Brent crude goes into that blend. Forties, Ekofisk and Ozenberg are the major components of it to make that baseline blend. And anything that's better quality you get a premium for, and I think the worst quality obviously you have to take less money for. Brent, the blend is not quite as good as West Texas Intermediate, but West Texas Intermediate is blocked in Cushing, Oklahoma, and so they have to take a lesser price for that, because everything flows one way into Cushing. It's kind of a one-way valves, and they can't get it out to the coast to put it on tankers to bring it over to sell it on the market against Brent. Anyway, quite interesting that, and it's a Financial Times article if you want to follow the link to learn more. Buyer retreat spells slump in home prices. In the Australian, yes, this is Australia, at last their house prices are falling over. Buyers are deserting the housing market at a pace that threatens a slump in housing prices and risks to the economic outlook. You can see the chart drop off in new housing loans. Those dips down in, the rise up in late 9 and early 10 was the government holding prices up with shenanigans. But you can't hold house prices up forever. It matters not what you do, unless you flood the market with money. But and it's looking very much from that as though the market has now started to fall over. The buyer retreat comes as the stock of unsold houses mounts. There are now 356,000 properties on the market, which is almost 50% more than a year ago. Sell now, accept 10% less to get it off your hands. Don't wait. Don't let the house price run down past you. Okay. Bloomberg, Germany reignites debt concerns with Greek warning as Portugal seeks aid. Germany warned that deficit scarred Greece might need more financial relief. This is Schäuble, Wolfgang Schäuble, saying although Greece has had its interest rate dropped by 1% and their 3-year loans stretched out to 7.5 years, they still might need more generous terms. And if that's not a default, what is? Brazil, inflation, expectations worsen. The IMF warns of overheating. This is Vivian Rodriguez from Tilt, Financial Times. Now they see, these are experts, inflation at 6.26% by the end of the year. 6.26 is getting to be a bit for Brazil. India car sales rose 30% in 2010 to 2011. Vehicle sales in India rose 26% in 2010, 2011 to 15.5 million units. It's vaguely funny, this. So vehicle sales are 15.5 million units. So you're thinking, bloody hell. You know, America's only, what are they, about 12 million units. But those are light vehicle sales in the United States, which means cars. Now, next night, car sales surged nearly 30% to 1.98 million units. So just under 2 million units are actual cars. The other 13.5 million units are scooters and boop-boops and little nothings. So, yeah, 2 million units as opposed to America's 12 million units when it comes to actual cars. And later in the article, that would still be above the pace of growth in China, which last month recorded a slower rise in car sales than expected after incentives ended and fuel prices rose. That's in China. Dispatches of cars in China up 6.5% from a year earlier to 1.3 million units, and those are real cars. But again, you know, a tenth of the United States. Yes, they're on the up and up, but they've got a long way to be up and up coming to get anywhere near United States of America. Credit write-downs, hard landing possible as Chinese inflation spirals out of control. Hard to get hard facts out of China. Michael Pettis I find the best, but here's George Soros on the situation. China's decision to keep currency weak has caused the government to lose control of inflation and risks fueling wage price gains. Soros ears. I've downloaded now the entire conference and I'm splitting off the MP3s and listening to them all. It's not just capitalists wah-wahing and wanking each other off. The ones I've listened to, it's been halfy-halfy. There's been a lot of you capitalist pigs getting up on the stage and having quite a good go at the meeting people, saying it's you lot that have ruined the world. It's not just a money fest like Davos. Anyway, I'll keep you informed. Financial Times, this is a German chart, as you can see. Going back to 1999, so it's going back 12 years or so. Deutschland at the bottom. These are their unit labour costs. And you can see how much lower they are than the black line, which is the ECB 2% year-on-year inflation target. And we've got Southern Europe at the top. The Spain, Portugal, Italy and that lot, and Ireland would be included in there, how much extra their unit labour costs have been in the last 12 years, and that's why they are uncompetitive. Telegraph, oh yes, uncompetitive. I was going to say something on that. I thought I had the Paul Krugman quote in there, but I haven't. He's just saying that it's not right that Germany are insisting that Südeuropa have to devalue everything that they've got. In other words, they've got to deflate their unit labour costs and prices and everything to come down to Germany, where Krugman says Germany should at least inflate some and go and meet them halfway. Anyway, finish with the Telegraph UK. I haven't decided what to think about this. No, see what you think. Grandparents urged to help first-time buyers cope with house price rises and beat that's inheritance tax, IHT. Grandparents urged to help first-time buyers. Okay. Grandparents who have profited from decades of rising house prices should Help adult grandchildren with the deposit to buy their first home. The average first-time buyer paid less than £21,000 for their home in 1983. But the equivalent today is nearly 7 times higher at £137,000. Even allowing for inflation, which the Bank of England calculates would make the £21,000 house in 1983, with inflation only, would be £55,000 now, which first-time buyers must find more than twice as much as their parents did. More than twice as much, because it's not just £55,000, it's £137,000 as opposed to £137,000. However, the implication from this is, however, about 8 in 10 people aged over 55 are homeowners. So they're saying that the homeowners now should sign up to give the deposits to the younger generation so they can get on the housing ladder. And I'm not sure what to think about that at all, except it just slaps me as desperate nonsense. Just who's got the money? Well, wouldn't it be better if houses weren't £137,000? No, it seems not. Anyway, that's it for today. See you tomorrow. Bye.